Okay. So parallel and perpendicular lines. To start us out here, I know that you've heard these two terms before. So if anybody wouldn't mind, raise your hand if you can give me a definition in your own words with not mathy terms about what parallel means. Colton.
Lines that never touch.
Lines that never touch. Perfect. Okay. And I saw a couple of you do like this thing too with your hands when you talk about parallel. So like you can even get like real close with it or real far away. So like lines that go like that are parallel. Okay?
Train tracks.
Train tracks. Perfect. Goalposts. What? Parking. Hopefully your parking isn't perpendicular.
There's sideways parking.
Okay. So yeah, parallel means never intersect. So right now I'm just going to define that using Colton's words. So never intersect. Now, raise your hand using not too terribly mathy words if anybody can give me a definition for perpendicular. Yeah, go ahead, Sam.
Lines that cross at a right angle.
Oh, wow, that's super mathy, but that's great. So Sam says lines that cross at a right angle. So lines that intersect. So if they just intersect like this, are they perpendicular? Like if they intersect like this. So in order to be perpendicular, they have to intersect at a cross. They have to intersect at a 90-degree angle or at a right angle. So for them to be perpendicular, they have to not just intersect, but they have to intersect at a 90-degree angle, or like make a cross when they intersect. So intersect at a right angle. At a right angle. Great use of math words there, Sam. All right. So now as far as your previous math experience goes, that's what you learned previously in math. So like previously on algebra or previously on 8th grade math. That's what you learned. Now today we're going to take that and we're going to expand it and we're going to talk about it in terms of lines. So in terms of lines and slopes and such, parallel lines have equal slopes. Equal slopes. So two lines are parallel if their slopes are equal, meaning their slopes are exactly the same. And two lines are perpendicular, and I'm going to throw out some math words here, don't panic. Two lines are perpendicular if their slopes are opposite reciprocal slopes. Opposite reciprocal slopes. Okay, now I know you've heard the word reciprocal before. So like, take a second. You might have some like PTSD from when you've heard the word reciprocal before. It's from like way back in 5th grade, maybe even as far back as 4th. But 4th, 5th, 6th grade, you've heard the word reciprocal. Okay, can anybody remember where you've heard the word reciprocal before? What? Okay, yes, school. That's general. Can we be more specific?
From you.
From me? Okay. Yeah, you heard it from me before. Okay, yeah, great.
We're getting pretty specific.
You are being very specific. Okay, so with fractions. So do you guys remember what the reciprocal of a fraction is?
No.
Kind of opposite. So like opposite in math usually means a different sign. So like opposite means positive to negative usually in math. For fractions, reciprocal means that you're switching you're flopping it. You're going from like, the reciprocal of 2/3 is 3/2. Stop that. So like the reciprocal of 1/5 would be 5/1. The reciprocal of 1/2 would be 2/1. So reciprocal means that you're flopping it. You're flip-flopping it. Kind of, sort of. So let's take a look at how this would look in an assignment, or how we're going to look at this today. So as far as parallel goes, let's say that we have a line here that's going to be y is equal to 1/2 x plus 7. And I want to talk about a line that would be parallel to that. So a line that's parallel to that, I'm going to leave the slope open. So y equals something x plus anything. Let's do, I don't know, 10,000. Now, if it's parallel to this other line, I know that the slope has to be equal. So what would be the slope of this line to be parallel to the other one? Well, no, if it's parallel, equal slopes, right? So what would the slope be if they're parallel? Right. So if they're equal slopes, the slope would be 1/2. Do you guys see that?
Yeah,
Kind of, sort of?
sort of.
Okay, one person does, but does anybody else see that?
I think so. I mean, I see it.
Yeah, I know, with your eyes literally in front of you, but are you understanding it at all? Okay, so let's talk about perpendicular. If I have a line that's like y is equal to 2/3 x minus 20.
Wouldn't it be 3?
Okay, hold on one second. So let's do y is equal to blank x plus 10. So this slope would need to be, if it's perpendicular,
One close 3
close, opposite reciprocal. So not just reciprocal. So reciprocal means I need to flop it, but it also needs to be opposite. So, yeah,
Y equals
so -3/2. So I need to flop it, reciprocal, but I also need to do opposite, which is why, Lucas, I said it's not just opposite. Opposite in math means changing the sign. So I'm going to go from positive to negative. If this were negative, I'd go from negative to positive. So I change the sign, and then I also flop it. Kind of, sort of. So, sorry, say that again?
Why did you need it?
Because it's opposite reciprocal. Opposite means changing the sign. So if it was positive, I make it negative. If it was negative, I make it positive. Opposite reciprocal. Kind of, sort of?
How would you know if it's a parallel solution or perpendicular?
Because the problem's going to tell you if you're looking for something parallel or perpendicular.
Because the 20 is negative?
It doesn't matter about this. This number that's back here doesn't make any difference. So let me show you how it will look on your assignment. On your assignment, you're going to find the equation of a line that goes through. So let's say it goes through 2, -3, and is parallel to y is equal to 1/2 x minus 3. So it's this word that you're looking for. If this word says perpendicular, then you're looking for a perpendicular slope. If this word says parallel, then you're looking for a parallel slope. You with me?
Yes.
So now this -3 here, you don't care about this at all. You don't,
What's the 1/2?
that's the slope.
But
So this was just me showing you what the, like this all up here was just set up for me showing you what this was up here.
I'm going to have a problem with
Yes, yeah,
That's from
that's why I'm teaching you this. This exact one isn't on your assignment. We're gonna go through part of the assignment together though. So, okay, how we would go through doing this. So first thing you would need to do is identify if it's parallel or perpendicular. So in this case, are we looking for a line that's parallel or perpendicular?
parallel.
Great. Now, the line that we need to find something that's parallel or perpendicular to, it's this one here. If we're doing something that's parallel, do we need the slope to be equal or opposite reciprocal?
Equal.
Great. So that means we need to identify the slope here, and we need it to be equal to that. Everything else in this line, we don't need. We don't need this -3, we don't need the y equals. We just need to take this slope and use it. So we're going to take this 1/2, and we're going to use that as our slope. And we're going to use this as our x, and this is our y, and now we just need to find the b. Kind of, sort of? So it's like what we were doing before, it's just that there's a little bit of an extra step.
Doesn't the B 1/2?
Well, let's find out together.
It is.
Let's find out together. So let's do y equals blobbity bloop x plus bloop. I'm going to put 1/2 in for the slope, and now I have to find the b. To find the b, I'm going to do y equals mx plus b. I'm going to put -3 in for y, 1/2 in for m, and then what do I put in for x, anybody? 2 plus b. What's half of 2? Plus b equals -3. How do I get the 1 on the other side? So I'm going to -1 minus 1. -3 minus 1 is what? So -4 equals b. Now what do I do with this -4? I put it right up here, right? So -4 goes up there. So this is the final equation. This is the equation of a line that goes through that point and is parallel to this other line. Okay. Kind of, sort of? Yes, no, maybe so? All right, let's take a look at your assignment here then. This isn't too bad. Honestly, I don't think this is too bad. And you have tons of time to work on this today during class. Yeah, but let's do the first four together here, just make sure everybody's on the same page. You'll get it to work with other people. You have tons of time to work on this in class. Since we didn't have to do any questions today, you have like all kinds of time to work on. So we're going to do the first four together. I made this relatively a shorter assignment. There's 24 problems, but once you get like the first few done, the rest of them, like once you get into a rhythm, the rest of them should go pretty easy. Okay. So let's take a look here. Question number 1. So we're finding the equation of a line that goes through this point and is parallel to this line. So if it's parallel, do you need to have a slope that's equal or that's an opposite reciprocal?
Equal.
Okay. So this is going to be our slope here. We don't need anything else from this line. So your answer is going to look like y equals blobbity bloop x plus bloop. I'm going to take this slope, -7/3, I'm going to plop it down right in here. So we're halfway to our answer already, right? To find out what b is, I'm going to do off to the side y equals mx plus b. Here's x, here's y, here's m. So 2 equals -7/3 times -3 plus b. Now, when I'm multiplying these two together, negative times negative means it's going to be what? And then 7/3 times 3. The 3 on top and the 3 that you're multiplying it by, those two cancel each other out. So it's just going to be 7 plus b. How do you get the 7 on the other side?
-7.
So -7 from both sides. So what is the b equal to? -5. So I'm going to take this -5 and put it up in here. And then this is the answer. Y equals -7/3x plus -5. Or just -5 if you want to. Kind of, sort of? Sort of, kind of. All right, let's look at number 2. Through the point 5, 3, parallel to -2/5x minus 5. So parallel means that we need to do the exact same slope or opposite reciprocal slope. Equal. So our answer is going to look like y equals blobbity bloop x plus bloop. So I'm going to take the -2/5 and put it in here. We're halfway to our answer. To find out the b, off to the side, I'm going to do y equals mx plus b. I'm going to put 5 in for x, 3 in for y, and -2/5 in for m. So 3 equals -2/5 times 5 plus b. Negative times positive means our answer is going to be negative. And then 2/5 times 5. The 5's cancel each other out, leaving what behind? -2. If you want to get -2 on the other side, you add 2 to both sides, and b is equal to 5. I'm going to take this 5 and put it right up there. Am I going too fast? You guys understanding this at all? Okay, let's look at some of the perpendicular ones now. So perpendicular is abbreviated PERP because mathematicians are lazy and we don't like to write out big words. Parallel is fun to write out because you've got all those L's and it looks kind of cool. But perpendicular is hard to write and sometimes mathematicians misspell stuff and we don't like to look like idiots. So y equals 1/5 x plus or minus 4. So we have to do the opposite reciprocal here. So our slope isn't going to be 1/5. It's going to be right, -5/1. So blobbity bloop x plus bloop So you can write it as -5/1, but any fraction over 1. So I could write -5/1, and that would be fine. I would not mark it wrong. I'm just saying you could also just write -5. Right? Because any fraction over 1 is just the top number. But if you left it -5/1, that would not be wrong. You guys with me on that? Okay. So to find out the b, I'm going to do y equals mx plus b. Here's x, here's y, there's m. This is m right here, -5. So -3 equals -5 times 1 plus b. -5 times 1 is -5 plus b, -3. So I'd add 5 to both sides. So 2 equals b. And I pick that 2 up, plop it down right in there. Not too bad, right? Okay, next one. Now if there's no number in front of the variable, what number is really there? Cool. So I got to do the opposite reciprocal of -1/1. So y equals blobbity bloop x plus bloop. So opposite means it's going to go from negative to positive. And 1/1 is going to flip from 1/1 to be... So it's going to go from -1/1 to positive. No. Okay, so it's going to go from negative to positive. So we've taken care of the sign. It's going to go from 1/1 to be... Hold it. Negatives out of play. Yeah, just 1/1. Negatives out of play. So it's going to go from negative to positive, and it's going to go from 1/1 to 1/1, which is just 1. To find out what the b is, we're going to do y equals mx plus b. Here's x, here's y, and then here's m right there. So -5 equals 1 times -4 plus b. -5 equals -4 plus b. And then how do we get rid of that -4? Okay. I was going to say use a hammer, but adding sounds better. -1 equals b. And then plop that -1 up there. Cool. So for the rest of the assignment, the other 20 problems, you guys can work together. You can work alone if you prefer. Yeah, I'll come around to help anybody who needs it. And yeah, mazel tov. You guys should do fine. You have more than 20 minutes to work on it. You got 20 problems. You should do fine. Don't you dare ask me for help on 21 through 24, though.